What is up, everyone? Welcome to a not very special, no, it's pretty special. It's a pretty special edition of AOS Trash Pandas. I'm your host, and with me, as usual, is my arch nemesis, Carbson Whittlemaker. How are you?
Not bad, jerk.
Yep.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. You know? Sometimes you have to go through some shit to realize that you had it pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Like, not that long ago.
You back on it and you're like, those times, I enjoyed that.
Seriously. Like not that long ago, I was in the emergency room and I was just thinking, like, everyone who's in here with me is having an extremely bad day. You know what I mean? And like, you're going through your life and you're kind of like, sometimes you're like, oh, it's Monday and that kind of thing. But then you're in the emergency room and you're like, yesterday was actually the shit. I loved yesterday. This day, not so much, you know? Anyway, on that happy note, some cool things to talk about, including a rumor engine.
Pretty interesting one.
Yeah. Like, it's clearly another baby quaddle, like you would see on the base of the Slann, right? We've got a Seraphon release on the horizon. Is it like going to be like a mother quaddle, or is it just going to be a quaddle and there's like, you know, a baby or two on there? Is it going to be like a skink priest on a quaddle? Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm very excited for it.
Could be anything. Could be two quaddles on the same base.
Two quaddles, right? Like, and how big is it going to be? Like, they're usually, like, in Total War, they're quite large, but like, I don't think it's going to be that big when they make one for some reason. I feel like it's going to be like 120 oval max, you know, most likely on a round base of some kind, like maybe 100mm round base. I don't know. I'm so excited though. Like, I really want, like, I you know, I've always thought like, we're never going to get a quaddle, you know, but I'm starting to believe.
Signs are there. It's right there.
It's right there.
Yep. 3 quaddles in a trench coat. That's right. Also, happy birthday, Razor.
Happy birthday, Razor. Yeah. He would. It was being weird. I actually got an error. I hit go live, and then it just said output error. You know. Check your settings. And I was like, nope, I'm just going to try again right now. Yeah. Very happy birthday to you, Razor. Yeah. So, did you have a guess? Like, or did I kind of cover it?
I think you pretty much covered it. I don't know that I know enough about Seraphon to know about like things that they're mentioning in the lore that could be upcoming as models and stuff like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there ever was a quaddle model, like for Lizardmen. There certainly wasn't when I was playing. I think that it was like in the book, but it was one of those, like, they used to have many things in the army books that it was just like, this thing exists and you kind of have to make it yourself. But I don't remember if it had rules or what the deal was, but I honestly didn't even think it was going to come to Total War. And then it did. And I was like, what the crap? Like, Dreadsaurian, sure. Like, that's a Forge World model. They just made it. You know what I mean? But like a proper quaddle, like you could have it as a mount for your skink priests and stuff like that. You could have like a whole army of quaddles. I don't know. Yeah, this is very exciting to me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
I feel like I was about to say the lizard people, but the people who like Seraphon are
us
the lizard people.
Us lizard people, yeah. I've been called worse.
Yeah, you got Rob, Eric, the Clintons.
The Clintons, whoa.
Yeah.
God damn.
You know, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, that's true. He definitely is.
The
Yeah.
lizard people.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like they're very excitable folk, and like anything that comes your way is
I
going to be
think
good. But
most people would say Mark Zuckerberg is the opposite of that. Like, have you seen his testimony? He didn't even seem like a lizard. He seemed like a robot or something.
Your Honor, I'm not sure. Yeah. Razor, well-known not little lizard person. Sorry, the
I lost you. What were you trying to say there?
I said Razor, a well-known lizard person. Yeah,
Is Razor a lizard person? I know he likes.
he said me in the chat. So
Okay. Oh, that's true. He did. I'm sorry. I was not. I mean, Razor has a lot of likes. The lizard people, also known as the lizard men, also known as Seraphon, they were my second army. They didn't exist when I first got into the hobby when I was a young lad, but they were the first box set I ever bought, 5th edition, and they were like my second army, and then they were my second army when I got back into the hobby. I've been collecting them again. Literally, it was the same year. Like I got Skaven used first, and I bought some stuff like a Screaming Bell and Thankful and a few other things like that. And then pretty quickly I was like, not having a book sucks, and I love dinosaurs, and so I'm going back to Seraphon. And so yeah, since like late 2016. So it's almost been 10 years since I got back into Seraphon again. And it's never been a better time. New models, and we're getting a book soon. This is so exciting. I'm wearing my Jurassic Park shirt today after seeing that. Yeah. I can't wait.
it's exciting. It's very exciting.
It's very exciting. What do we think? When is the book coming, Carson? You know everything. Tell me.
It's not long because everything's got to come up pretty much before, or at least we're probably going to know about everything before the end of this year.
Right.
Because we only have Seraphon, Gargants, Dwarves, and
like the rest of the ogres?
And the rest of the ogres, but I feel like there's something. Am I forgetting something?
I don't think so.
Okay. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot, man.
Not a lot.
No.
I mean, history shows that after a FOMO box, it's like 6 weeks until the full release.
I think that we've gotten them like 4 weeks before. So I would
roughly in that time.
A month to 6 weeks is, I would say, average. And like we got the announcement, and then we got they showed the ogres, and then what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks later we got like the FOMO box release notification, essentially.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff seems rushed. Like they showed off the Warriors of Chaos models, and then we got their FOMO box that weekend, like 2 days later, right? They showed off the Chaos Army box, and then this last weekend we're getting their full release notice. So that was like somewhere between 4 and 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if like Ogres is like done with by the end of August, and then we see something else in September.
Well, maybe we might even get like an announcement of like, hey, it's coming, and we'll know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know? Because we need ogres, we need Seraphon, and we need Khazad Holds, and Khazad Holds is ostensibly gonna be like a big release.
Yeah, and Gargants, which we saw the leak sprue for.
That's true. So we're gonna get at least one model for them, probably, hopefully quite a few models for Seraphon, and then if you're talking like if this is the final thing that gets confirmed by Boole, or actually it can't be, because the last planet, or whatever it's called, the last world,
the Lost World,
yeah. Speaking of Jurassic Park, anyway, if we get that, then if that rumor is true, basically, then that's gonna be a huge release, like on par probably with ogres, right? So like there's not that much time to be coming out with like major releases, everything so far has been like pretty closely packed together. It'd be weird if it was spaced out super far apart, unless these are big ass releases. But like, how many models could Gargants be getting? Like, probably at least the new Baby Giant, like multi-part kit or whatever. But then, like, after that, like, what do you like? They can't have that big a release, right? I don't know. I don't know, man.
The thing is, like, if they get any kits, it's basically increasing their range by what, like 20% or something. Like,
Well, technically, yeah, it's like they've got one box now, or they got two different boxes you can buy. You can either buy a giant or a mini giant, and that's it.
so 50% increase if they add one kit.
If they had one kit, although it's probably going to be a like a replacement kit, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that is like they're replacing half the range, you could even say, right? Like, it's true though. They're replacing half the amount of kits that you can buy. And then if they do add another, new kit as well, then that's going to be huge. It's ogre time now. That's true. 2 to 3 narrative books near the end of the edition in which Ascended Korgos Kull will arrive. Is that the rumor? I've been hearing about Ascended. You know who Korgos Kull is?
Nope.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Darai, but I'm almost positive that he's the guy from the original AOS launch box, like back in 2015. He was like the corn guy. And he was fighting, I forget his name, some Stormcast Eternal on like a baby dragon, whatever those things are called. And then I think he's the one with the realm splitting axe that could kill people on 5s and 6s, just wipe them out. But I've been hearing about like Ascended Korgos Kull for so long now, since like before the current edition released, well before that. So I hope Chaos Lord with the dog on his base. That's the guy with the realm splitting axe, though, right? I can't remember. I'm not a corn guy. I'm not a Stormcast guy, so I do struggle a bit with that. Ow. Anyway, yeah, like that would be super cool though. Ascended Korgos Kull, like basically giving them like a corn Primarch, you know what I mean? In AOS, like sign me up. Like he's become whatever. I don't know what that would be, but. How do you think the second end times start? That's a good question. I mean, what's his name? Bull kind of did talk about it, but I
don't think they're going to do Skaven.
No.
Just yeah.
Well, Skaven are kind of like he talked about how they're kind of bringing about, the Vermin Doom is sort of kicking it off, I guess, but. I don't think it's going to be all about them for sure. But it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like the last End Times was, a lot about the Skaven. And now this one kind of might be too. That would be... I mean, it's probably going to... I mean, Boole was talking about how like Sigmar hits the big red button or whatever. And I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question.
I don't know. I suspect that whatever they do, it's not going to be like as drastic as the last 10 times, though. That would be because that was essentially like replacing the entire system, throwing a bunch of stuff out. Like, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like, here's a big narrative beat, and then at most the name of the system would change or something like that. But
right,
I don't think they're going to fundamentally change what we've been doing.
Well, and I saw a video not that long ago, like, and someone was getting into 40K. And then they were like looking at a model and they were like, oh, what about this? And then the person was like, oh, that's for Age of Sigmar. Like the models are amazing, but I heard the rules are really bad. And like, I've been hearing this shit for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? And so like, maybe it's a good idea to change the name of the game. Maybe it should become, the Last World or whatever, something else, Warhammer fantasy, not fantasy, but like something like that, where it no longer has the stigma of the release from literally 10 years ago, where they didn't have points, they didn't have anything, and people were just being a bunch of whiny crybabies about the double turn and stuff like that. you know?
Yeah. I'm really not looking for if that happens, I'm really not looking forward to the like absolute tidal wave of Age of Shitmar, double turn stupid, like just it's your own M times. You guys
Yeah.
said like all that kind
Well,
of crap. Like that's
it's
gonna
true, but maybe that gets like away from this stigma that's surrounded Age of Sigmar. Like we're still not over that. Like people are
I think
still
some
saying
people
this
never
shit.
will be. Like some people are gonna be 40K fans through and through and basically never want to do anything else and they're just gonna throw shit over the wall. Sorry, I keep saying swear words.
No, I mean whatever.
We're 20 minutes in at this point.
It doesn't
Who
matter.
cares?
It's
Um,
fine. Uh,
but I think some people are always just going to be like those, loud minority on the internet kind of thing.
it's true.
Um,
But I mean, I even ran into someone when Age of Sigmar 3 was coming out. I ran into someone, same thing. You know what I mean? They're just like, oh yeah, like I heard I heard the rules are basically the same and it still sucks. And I'm going like, it's a totally different game. Like your game, 8th edition 40K was heavily influenced by Age of Sigmar. It's more similar to Age of Sigmar than it was to the game that it used to be. And yet here we are, like
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, grognards are going to grognard. Like
It's
they're
true, and I mean, I think that the deep lore grognards, like the people who are properly grogging it up, they're still gonna be like, well, that's just the new Age of Sigmar. But like if they changed the name of the game, though, I think that will be like, it might be different enough for the people that don't know to just be like, oh yeah, that's like their new game. I don't really know anything about it. Instead of just being like, oh, I heard the rules suck. You know what I mean? Like it's harder to make that connection because like anyone who's watching this show or us obviously we're like way deeper in the community. Like someone Mark from Rerolling Ones, he said to me like before like because I was doing like the news a little bit for Age of Sigmar for a while, and he was like, it's a really good idea that you're doing that because most people don't even know what Warhammer community is, like what the website is. Like most 90% of the people who consume this hobby don't know the website, and they get their news from like the store and their friends and stuff like that, right? So I don't know. Anyway, all that to say, I don't really care. Like I've been here since it was Age of Shitmar. You know what I mean? Like still to when like there was a lot of valid points about the state of the game. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna be here regardless. But maybe for the health of the game, like a brand change, maybe it's good. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's good. Maybe that would be a good idea. I mean, like, it's not going to really hurt anyone who likes Age of Sigmar. You know what I mean? If they rebrand it, like, it's like a logo change. Like, we don't care. Like, we're not going to stop buying it because they changed the logo or the name of the game. And most of us don't even like. Most people don't really care about the lore either, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are loosely attached to the lore and
Very.
another thing is too is like it's always a little bit difficult to truly know what like the thoughts around the game are
Yeah.
generally, because when you think about people who go to tournaments, that's like maybe 10,000 people worldwide, right?
Right.
For Age of Sigmar.
Right.
And that's like a fraction of the people that play a game in a year, even, let's
Right.
say.
Yep.
And that's like a fraction of the people that buy a model because it looks cool, right? So
That's so true.
maybe you're right that like a rebranding, even if it just causes like that huge percentage of the population of player or people that just buy models because they look cool to
Right.
buy like one more model or something like that, maybe that'll ultimately be healthier.
Well, and you talked about it too before when we were talking about the Lost World. But like, if this provides a jumping off point, like the Horus Heresy, for people to get into the lore and the world and story and stuff like that, again, I'm up for it. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna grognard on both sides. Like, oh, they're doing this because of money. Yeah, of course they're doing it because of money. But at the end of the day, if they make something better, then like, isn't that a good thing? Like, you know, I don't know, man. People love to complain. It's wild to me. Anyway, on to some good news, okay? Or I guess I don't know about good news, but
let's dial back a little bit.
yeah. It's definitely not good news. It was something good, okay? So I've been working on Visic now. Oh, this is not the right picture. There we go. For so long, and I finally finished him over the weekend. I've been having like vision issues and stuff like that for a while now, and it made painting kind of difficult. But slowly, I've been working away at him, and I finally finished. And so I just wanted to show a couple pictures of him because I'm super, super happy. Oh, by the way, the people on Facebook and actually, I forgot to post it on one of the Discords that I meant to, but I posted it on our Discord, the Sega of Dice Discord, and our local club Discord, and I posted on the Skaven Facebook page that I run. But the people, I've gotten more messages about this guy than like anything I've ever painted and like the messages have been so kind. So thank you so much to the people that took some time to message me about it. Shout outs to Ledivicus too, by the way. I don't think he's here in the chat right now, but he actually sent me a PM separately, and it was like one of the nicest things I've ever gotten. So yeah, shout outs to everyone for all those kind messages.
I mean, number one, people love a centerpiece model, but number two, you did knock it out of the park with this one.
Thanks,
and this
man.
is like the most Rob paint job I've ever seen, where it's got like the classic Rob, like teal and purple.
Teal and purple.
Kind of,
I can't get away from
obviously, it's Skaven, and then your super bright neon greens and stuff like that is something that is pretty classic Rob too. So
that's true. I do like the neon greens. Someone said to me on I actually did some new stuff like that I haven't done before. Like I built normally when I do the fur for my gray sears and stuff like that, I do like kind of a cold gray. You know what I mean? I build it up from gray, but this one, it's actually like a warmer gray because he's not a gray seer. So I wanted to do something different, but I wanted him to have this like, I wanted to make him look like a Dark Souls boss kind of, you know how like they have that scraggly fur and whatnot, and the fur didn't actually come out in the pictures very well, but you'll see it in real life, hopefully. But yeah, I went completely tits out on this thing as much as I'm capable of right now. But it got to the point though where I was painting it. I've been painting this thing for like over 6 months now. Now, granted, I've been, like discouraged with my vision problems and just kind of not wanting to do it. You know what I mean? Kind of like being very unmotivated at times and basically not painting for like a week or two at a time sometimes. But I did spend a lot of time on him. Varnished him like several times at several steps. Varnished before the oil wash, and then I tried to do like a matte varnish because he still looked all glassy and stuff like that afterward. And then I tried to do it like painted on, so I wouldn't have to do the whole model. Anyway, like he's varnished like crazy now, though, like super well protected. Other than a few things that I added at the very end. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share my joy, I guess, essentially. He's finally done. I'm probably going to, move back over to Seraphon for a little bit. I'm kind of jazzed for Seraphon, and I'm like, a lot of people are kind of complaining. Like, apparently a lot of people heard about the Seraphon book that the people kind of disliked the rules for Seraphon, like their index. And so like they had to go back to and write the book from scratch. I actually like the Seraphon rules quite a bit. So I'm hoping that the new rules are really cool. But yeah, but I kind of just feel like painting something different. I've been working on rats for the past, 2 years? How long has it been since Age of Sigmar came out? 2 years?
It was 4?
Yeah.
It's been a little over 2 years now, yeah.
Right. So I've been working on nothing but rats for the past 2 years. So I kind of want to like paint something a little different. I might break. You know what I mean? I might paint up some scourgers or something. I might break, but I'm planning on going back to Seraphon a bit for a while now because I'm feeling kind of hyped about them as well. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, thanks to all the kind messages. It really made my day. Thanks, Razor. You did say it before. You were one of the many kind people. Anyway, so tonight we are talking. Whoa, oh man! I thought we were gonna hear the ding, like where you go into the other dimension or whatever. Like the guy backflipping into. I don't even know what that meme is called, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So tonight we're talking about the new tactics. I'm basically going to be a parrot on Carson's shoulder and just asking dumb questions. But the idea is he's going to kind of give us an idea of what he thinks are strong tactics overall and maybe some things to look for. Like, so it's going to be like partially like some strategy help from Carson and partially some, what do you call it? Like he's going to make, we'll make it a tier list basically.
Yeah. The only thing that's going to be kind of awkward is that there's 5 tiers and 6 things.
That's true.
Oh,
well, we could do, we could get rid of one of them too, and we can add more.
Yeah, that's true. I don't mind keeping it as like 5 tiers, and then
Sure.
if some tiers just don't have anything in them, I think that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I don't think that this is necessarily going to be bell curved. I think it's just going to be a scale of like how universally useful it is.
Okay. I like it.
That'll probably be the primary metric, and then we can kind of discuss like, some tactics might be not universally useful, but they're really good for certain armies, kind of thing.
Exactly. So
And
like, we could maybe
it's
even
more
like
of an open discussion that we're forcing tier list slop down your throat with.
exactly.
Like it's like we more so just wanted to have a discussion about tactics and kind of like rate them overall, but tier lists are also that's what pays the bills. So that's what we're doing.
It's true.
So
man.
enjoy your slop.
Yeah. Hopefully you're going to get at least get something out of this tactically, and maybe you just were entertained while you were painting something. But yeah, that's the goal. Cool. Okay. Should we name the tier lists? Should we name should we make like a list like one is like universally applicable to every army, like always good, and then one is like good in some armies, and then another tier is like mostly unapplicable, it's very tangential, and then one is just like it sucks ass. They need to rewrite this shit.
Okay, so do we want to just have 4 tiers then?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Universal, most,
Right.
The
inverse of that, mostly not, and then just
basically no one,
basically
nothing.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll get rid of the S row.
Devin Cortman says your tier list is wrong, Carson. I have very strong feelings about your wrong tier list. Well, we haven't started yet. You are 3 hours in the future, so I guess you have already seen what it's going to be. So that's fair. I don't know. I'll see if I disagree with you at the end then.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Devin from the
Can
future.
you imagine you make the tier list, you're like, you know what? Yeah, this
is
whole
terrible.
thing is
Yeah.
shit. Okay. So I'll put just you. Oops. You.
The moment that the tier list appears on the screen, our viewers jump from like 13 to like 22. I'm like, oh, we gotta get our tier list.
Must consume tier list.
Yeah.
I hope that was a coincidence. Probably not. Yeah.
We made fun of them and they left.
Ah, shoot.
Damn it.
Not again. You gotta remember to stop doing that.
How to paint slap chop tier list. Battle tactic rules league.
How would we put this? Universally good, mostly not good.
Yeah.
Crap.
Or sorry, let's say mostly takeable, mostly not takeable.
Okay. Perfect.
Just because I think good is kind of subjective, but takeable
Yeah,
is
that's.
more.
I was just blanking on it. I'm being broadcast. Wait, tackable. Take.
And then universally not takeable, which
Wait,
I don't know that we're actually going to
is
have.
takeable not
We'll
a
see.
word?
We'll make it a word.
Okay.
It's our show.
Yeah, exactly. Mostly untakeable.
Mostly untakeable.
Untakeable. Takeable.
Untakeable, which is what I was as a child because I was too fat.
And then wait. Sorry, what was the final category?
Universally untakeable.
Okay, I like it. There's good symmetry there. Universally. Oops. Oh no.
Universally untakeable, otherwise known as my Tinder profile.
Oh, self burn. Love it. Okay. You are ready for rage bait. You came to the right spot, baby.
That's right.
Okay, so where would you like to start? Should I?
First of all, before we start, Alex asked a good question, which is: are you talking about these strictly from a singles format POV or teams/overall, which is valid? I think.
I mean, this is the amount of people that participate in teams tournaments is a subset of a small amount of people that do tournaments. Let's just keep this to single play.
Let's keep it to singles, but I actually also suspect that this GHB's battle tactics and missions are far less polarizing than last GHB's battle tactics and missions.
Interesting.
From a team's perspective, in my opinion, which could be completely wrong. There's still a lot of data to be collected, but it just feels like because battle tactics are universally like less doable, scoring primary seems to matter a lot more. So battle tactics seems to be like there doesn't seem to be as much of a relation between your battle tactics and the actual battle plan.
Interesting.
With the exception of maybe like flanking Firestorm.
Okay.
But yeah, we can go through them.
Sounds good. Okay. So I'm just realizing, was I supposed to bring up was I supposed to have like those big cards that you made? Was I supposed to be able to like show them on the stream?
If you could, that'd be great.
Okay.
It's nice to be able to like read through it with
That's true.
With the stream.
Would you be able to forward those to Facebook so I don't have to? Because now we're doing this.
Let's just end the stream.
Bye. Sorry, everyone. Happy birthday, Razor. Thank you.
I can do that, but you need to vamp.
I need to vamp. Well, you're good at tactics and Age of Sigmar, and I'm good at vamping. Let's go back to my beautiful, beautiful Visic. Love this model.
I don't know if anyone else has noticed recently, but Facebook has just been like the slowest piece of crap. That's just been getting like slower.
I have not noticed because I haven't used it at all in a long time. I actually just turned my notifications back on Facebook just because, like, when people write nice things about the paint job on Facebook, I wanted to be able to be like, thank you, and reply. So people were I always find that people will ask, questions about your paint job too, if they like it. Oh, perfect. That was you.
Yep. Also, as a follow-up to me saying that, if ever someone is trying to get a hold of me, don't do it on Facebook. There's been so many times where someone sends me a message on Facebook and it like just doesn't go through.
Yeah, that happened to me for a while. I assumed it was because you hate me. Oh, is that too? Well, whatever. Are we starting with Blazing Onslaught?
Let's do that.
Okie dokie. Artichoke.
Blazing Onslaught. So I think we can just read through it first and then just kind of discuss like where is this applicable? Maybe just kind of discuss the implications of some specific parts of these things. But so it is, there's some preface to this, which is the rules is at the start of the battle, after all deployment phase abilities are used, your opponent must pick one non-faction terrain feature within their territory to be the hideout. The hideout cannot be removed from the battlefield at any point during the battle. So basically, after all deployment phase abilities are done, Your opponent has the chance to point to something that is in their territory, and note that it can be only partially in their territory if they want it to be,
Right.
i.e., it can be partially in your territory or partially in neutral territory or
Oh,
what have you.
cool.
It just all it has to be is at least somewhat like just a hair within their own territory, and that's basically you have to go be near that at some point.
Right.
Then step one of the tactic has nothing to do with the hideout whatsoever, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
All it is you if at the end of the turn the same enemy unit had at least one damage point allocated to it in 3 different phases this turn,
Right.
then you score the tactic.
Nice.
So that part is really useful for people who have like hero phase damage, impact mortals in the charge phase, shooting. Kind of everyone has end of turn damage now with the.
Oh, that's true. And there's
the new
combat
attacks and
too.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, in combat. So everyone kind of has 2. So
Right.
it's basically saying as long as you're not a dedicated combat army,
Right.
you should be good.
Oh, cool. I like it.
Yeah. The only thing is that you kind of want to hedge your bets.
Yeah.
Sorry for the barking. I don't know if it's super loud for you guys.
No. I mean, not for me
Okay.
anyway. Let them know in the chat.
Yeah, it's kind of like ideally you want to have like 4 phases of damage that you can consistently do. And to use ogres as an example, like
Right.
I can do damage in the
Charge.
hero phase with a prayer.
Right.
I can do damage in the shooting, or I think I can even do damage in the movement phase. But I know I can do damage in the shooting phase with shooting. I can do damage in the charge phase with the bull charge.
Right.
Obviously combat phase, and then end of turn.
And
I have multiple ways to do it.
Couldn't a lot of people do it in the movement phase with like an endless spell?
Yep, you could with the Gravetide.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Neat.
Yep. The next step. So if you manage to get past that point, the next step is just simply control the enemy layout.
Right.
So this is really good if you have like. Sorry, one sec.
I'm glad Razor's enjoying it. She wanted your attention.
Sorry, my partner's just been like having to step in and out. So
Oh,
now it's
oh.
just like murderers.
I
Also,
see.
my deck has been like basically under constant demolition for the past couple weeks, or even
Oh.
like a month actually now.
Wow.
So my dog is just sitting here during the day as people like tear down the balcony walls, and she's just like, "There's literally people breaking down the walls. We need to panic. Like, at what point do we need to worry about this?" I'm like, "No, it's fine." Which is a weird thing to have to try and justify to a dog. She will never understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Step 2 of this is that you just simply control the hideout, which, in my opinion, step 2 is usually the easiest part.
Right.
I guess it depends on the battle plan. You need relatively good mobility. So I guess it seems easy, but it depends on like kind of the state of the battle. If you have good OC and stuff like that, then this can be pretty good. And then the last part, which a lot of people seem to just like auto score for themselves after they've completely tabled their opponent. You actually need your opponent to be alive, and you need a very specific thing to happen in order to score the last part, which is at the end of your turn, if there are 2 or more enemy units destroyed this turn and you control the hideout, then you score this tactic.
Whoa.
So it's not just control the hideout. It's your opponent has to have at least 2 units, and they both have to die.
Right.
Which can be pretty hard to line up, actually. So
Yeah.
you kind of need to get this like absolutely perfect.
Like thread
to
the
score.
needle. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I think step 1.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are taking this, first of all.
That's
seems
what
like
I
the default
heard.
way.
That's what Eric told me as well. And I was looking at this as well because I was mostly thinking about Seraphon and Skaven. And they both have decent magic and ways of putting out damage in the hero phase. So I was looking at it for that. And then Skaven and Seraphon actually both have access to decent shooting. And the nice thing about it too, it says the same enemy unit had 1 damage point allocated to it in 3 different phases. So if you get off like a damaging spell on 2 different units, you have access to both of those units for. So like you could do, let's say I do 2 I do 1 damage to one unit and 1 damage to another unit with a spell, and then I've got a unit of rattling guns, right? Move them up. I could shoot into both units, and if I get 1 damage in both of those units, I'm still alive for just getting for one of them, right? And so, like, it doesn't seem like at first it seems really hard, but then I was kind of going like, this actually doesn't seem that bad to me now.
No, it's not too bad. Like there's a lot of things that you have to consider, because I think a lot of people will see the first bit and be like, oh, this is easy.
Right.
You know, if my army has shooting or hero phase stuff, then it's easy. However, you have to think of all of the different ways that someone could potentially deny that first step, and it is a surprising amount. And
Right.
the first way that someone could deny that first step is in the key, like the core universal abilities that have been introduced in this GHB. You have fight through the pain.
Right.
So if, let's say, what you're trying to do is some chip mortal wounds in the hero phase or charge phase or something, and you do like 2,
That's
and
so
someone's
true.
sitting at Fury level 5,
Right.
and they know that you can only do damage in the combat phase and end of turn after that, what I would do is I would just blow all my Fury dice and be like, okay, I'm going to make sure that you don't do any damage this hero phase, just so you will never score this tactic.
Right.
Because the later in the game it gets, the less likely it is that you're going to be able to score this tactic, because most of your tools might have been exhausted, or maybe you're going to get tabled or something like that. And that's where, from a team's perspective, it's good counterplay against that, because at least they won't score this tactic path.
Right. That's a great
So yeah, it's and then other ways that you can counterplay, like let's say, or it's not necessarily counterplay, but other ways that it can fail, or like, let's say you do have shooting and you do have combat, and then you have end of turn as well. If you just completely wipe a unit in the combat phase, now you've cut off one phase that it could possibly have damage done to it in, right? So you kind of have to like pull your punches a little bit, depending on what you're targeting.
Right.
So it's a like easily understandable tactic path.
Right.
And it's universally approachable, but I think it's also got a lot of counterplay, and it's got a lot of ways that it could fail. Like when I was playing against Dylan Terrio in Tacoma, he didn't score this tactic until round 4. Which just because like things kept happening where like he had a 2-up D3 to roll in the charge phase for impact mortals, and he just didn't get it.
Right.
And there's like so many things like that can happen where you just barely don't get it, and then that's the whole tactic. And I've seen that happen at least 3 games now, where someone's played against me and they've just barely not done enough damage, which is why, like, you know, ignoring the first damage of every phase and a ward save stacked with fight through the pain makes it so that, like, yeah, I can ignore this little chip damage, or even like medium amount of damage that you're going to do in this one phase, and that just shuts off your tactic.
And I have a question too. So if you have a ward save, you can't roll a ward save and use fight through the pain then?
You can.
You can. Oh,
yeah.
Shoot. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Yeah,
so if you've
makes
got like,
hard.
let's say you're like Night Haunt, where you have a 5-up ward universal,
right,
and you have like a cruel gas cruciator where you're what's it called?
Ignoring the first
damage.
Yeah.
So let's say you take 5 damage and then you ward 2 of them, and then you ignore 1 of them, so you've only got 2 damage taken, and then you're like Fury level 3 or 4 or something, and then you just blow all your dice. You might just take 0 damage.
Jeez.
Right?
Because it's 3 ups on those dice, right? The feel no pain thing.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, exactly.
Whoa. Whew.
So yeah, there's a lot of considerations here. I think we said earlier that we're not going to bell curve these, but the one thing I will bell curve it on is that you should not expect to score 3 of your tactics on a card in a given game. I think aiming for 2 is reasonable. 2 should be like, that's your medium result, and you did pretty well.
Okay.
Whereas last GHB, it was like, if you don't score all 3 of your tactics, something went wrong, or you get tabled or something like that.
You know what's funny though? It feels like every time we get a new GHP, we say that about the previous GHP. And then by the end of it, it ends up like everyone's like, yeah, you got to score them all or you're screwed, kind of thing. You know,
I think I'm maybe being hyperbolic. Like, you weren't scoring 6 every time, but I'm saying, like, even in a really good game where you table your opponent, you're probably not scoring. In fact, you can't score all of your tactics because they've built in some like things like the last step of this one,
right?
Where you need to kill 2 enemy units, and if you just kill them too fast, then you can't.
I see. Okay. So
Yeah.
we read that out. I'm assuming we're gonna we're gonna put it on the tier list now.
Yep, I think we can put it on the tier list.
Okay.
Maybe some armies that would be good examples of this being good for would be like.
Skaven.
Actually, let's put it on the tier list first, then we
Sure.
can
Yeah.
say it.
Okay.
I think this would be mostly good.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
it. That's kind of what I thought, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly thinking like I haven't thought about it on the level that you have for sure, and so I'm mostly thinking about it with the two armies that I want to play right now, Skaven and Seraphon, and it's pretty good for both armies, to be frank. They both have a lot of magic output, decent shooting, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so. Yep.
Sorry,
please.
one question
No, no.
from the chat was Droodle saying, "Can your opponent help complete this tactic if they roll a 1 for a place of power? If you do two more, or if you do damage in 2 more phases later?" And the answer is yes, because
For
they
sure.
just have to have taken damage. So including if they like countercast and miscast.
Yep.
That applies.
Yep. That's true. The only problem though is that most of the time you're probably not going for like a caster who's probably in the back, but maybe it's the screaming bell. Like there's a bunch of situations where this totally applies. So that's a good point. Okay. So, now you said you were going to say like what armies you think this is good for.
Yep, I think this is mostly good, and I think that the reason for that is because most armies have access to 4 phases of damage.
Right.
Every army has access to 2 phases of damage, right?
Right.
Combat, end of turn.
Right. That makes sense.
That. A lot of armies will have impact mortals to get up to 3, spell or prayer lord damage to get up to 4.
Right.
Maybe there's some weird thing like, using Seraphon as an example in your hero phase, you can shake terrain. You've got Croak Spell Bomb. You've got Comet's Call. And just there's also charge phase damage in Seraphon if you want to do like maybe the Raptidon Hunters shoot into Raptidon Chargers that just charged, or so on and so forth. But there's a whole bunch of armies that'll have access to that.
Right.
And I think because everyone has access to 2, it's not that hard to include like a third one. If you're truly strapped for tactics, finding a third phase is not that difficult in pretty much every army that I can think of.
Okay.
It might not necessarily be reliable, but
yeah, that's fair.
So I think armies that this is actively really good for, I'll bring up ogres. Feels great.
feels great, man.
Yeah, because I mean, like you've obviously got your first 2 of combat and end of turn.
Right.
There's good shooting output. You have charge phase, and you can deal damage in the hero phase if you have a priest, or depending on your prayer lore or spell lore as well.
Right.
Or manifestation lore. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, that's a good.
So
point.
it's like almost every phase of the game, ogres can deal damage, which is great. Tzeentch is another good example. You've got your first 2. You've got your hero phase damage, and you've got some shooting output depending on what units you take. So they would be good.
Well, and like one nice thing about like ogres too, are if you have access to damage in the charge phase too, is it's like, oh, I rolled particularly poorly. They blew all their saving dice, on keeping them from taking damage. Well, you could just charge another unit. You know what I mean? Like
only one unit can use bolt charge in ogres.
Oh no! Oh, I totally lied. Never mind. Forget that.
Unless you have iron guts. But yeah.
Never mind. Okay. I'm a parrot.
But yeah, like
sorry, of the other ones you said Tzeentch, you said
honestly almost all of the new books are good at it.
Right.
Like Sylvanet can do it fairly well. Actually, maybe not as much. But fairly well.
If you have a rampage, though, that's happening at the start of the combat phase, so that wouldn't apply, right?
Sometimes rampages are in the charge phase.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's like after you charge or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, if you have any sort of mix of shooting and melee, generally you can do this tactic.
Right.
And then if you have shooting and melee and impact mortals or spell damage, then great. You're doing good at this tactic.
Right.
The only thing is that that's just for step 1. So you have to have also some form of speed and like staying power, which is why ogres is also good, because it's like, I can swarm the hideout with a whole bunch of gluttons for 1 turn at least. That's probably fine.
Right.
Same thing with Tzeentch. Like they've got a lot of trickery to like pin units and then go and touch the hideout real quick and then go away. Cities as well. Like Cavaliers are extremely slippery and they're pretty mobile even when they're stuck in combat. So taking the hideout isn't too bad either. So those are good examples of being good at this tactic. So yeah, mostly takeable. Sounds like you pretty much agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I'm far from an expert. I was trying to think of, the different armies. Like I think Deepkin would probably do pretty good with this as well because there's a lot of like hero phase damage. Like both through the Eidolons, just casting in general. Like there's decent casting, and then they've got charge mortals as well in some units. Okay shooting, or pretty decent shooting actually, and very good combat. So yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, like it's hard to remember all the different units. I think like what are the units that, or what are the armies that this is going to be harder on? Like maybe Iron Jaws, like basically no shooting, and not the best magic.
Slaves of Darkness as well.
I've now become so ugly that my camera is just.
Oh, we can't show people that. That's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Iron Jaws probably isn't great. Slaves to Darkness also not good.
Oh, right. Good point.
That's a very melee focused army. The only thing is they have their Spite Tongue Curse spell, which makes it a little better, but even then you have to cast a spell. Right. What else?
I guess you also want to think about, that's fair. And you might also want to think about using universal spell lore that gets you like the chains, for example, like that goes off and does mortal wounds in the hero phase. So it's kind of like a backup thing if you want to get something off. And then or like we said before, Gravetide is doing mortals in the movement phase, which is quite rare. Not a lot of that exists anymore. So that's like another phase you can kick at that can. But yeah, okay. No.
Yeah. And then armies that this will be hard to score. We're hyperfixating against the first step, but it's the hurdle to get over essentially.
Right.
But Nurgle would be hard to score the first step against just because they're stacking wards and fight through the pain and good saves with like rot swords.
For sure.
Yeah, against.
Right.
Nighthaunt as well. It's a good example. Anyone with like a combination of wards and ignore first damage of phase can be kind of tough.
Right. Iron Jaws might be decently hard to get against it just because they're, well, no, I guess not. Maybe Slaves to Darkness then? Just quite tough.
Yeah, the thing is they don't tend to have like great wards or like super reliable wards.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's that. Then what's next?
Okay, next is
Siege of Asses.
I think so. One second. Let's find out together. Yep, Siege of Asses. That's it.
Perfect. So as a recap,
right.
This one's like a bit more of like a positional based one. So there's no pre-game thing for your opponent to do. But step one is basically be near your territory, but not in it, and hold hands. Mm-hmm. So it's you complete this tactic at the end of your turn. 2 or more friendly units are wholly outside friendly territory, wholly within 6 of friendly territory, and within 3 inches of each other. So it's
so crazy.
I've seen a lot of people mess this up. Like it actually requires you to be in a very specific position.
Right.
And on some battle plans, it means you can't both like go touch an objective and do this tactic. So you might have to be using 2 units to very specifically do this thing.
Right.
This is also a harder tactic to do on like completely half and half maps because you're essentially like dangling 2 units in the wind.
Totally.
Because to be wholly outside of friendly territory means you actually have to get quite close to your opponent, depending on the map. Some of them it's like super easy because there's neutral territory that's like behind you,
right?
And then you just go do that, and it's fine. But yeah, half and half maps definitely are much harder to do this one on. But otherwise, like it's doable for sure. And
it's also a little less interactive too, for a lot, for different reasons. And also, it looks like you can teleport to do it.
Yep. There's also no restriction for like being in combat, setting up,
exactly.
Like you said.
Yeah.
It's just like as long as you do it, you're fine. So it's not too bad. And then the second step is you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if you control an objective within enemy territory, and that objective is contested by at least 1 friendly unit that did not use a move ability, and at least 1 other friendly unit that charged this turn.
Crazy.
So, just as a reminder, obviously normal move and run are move abilities.
Right.
Charge is also a move ability though.
Right.
So even if you didn't like move your unit, you can't have charged them in to satisfy the first part of this. So this one's harder to line up. And this is one where like it's much easier to score if you have some form of like murder lust or tag in combat rule of some kind. So like Ironjaw's Mighty Destroyers,
Right.
good example.
Yeah.
The Ogre's end of turn, move into combat, good example. Slanesh, end of turn, move into combat, good example. Like there's a lot of
they're not considered a move ability, so therefore
Exactly.
that's why you can
Tzeentch is incredible at this part because they can spawn pin someone, and the spawn counts as not having used the move ability because it was just set up.
But it can't die though. So
it can't die, but you charge in with like Zangor Enlightened. Discs,
right.
And they just evaporate something that was on that point.
Right.
And the spawn is on that point, and the Zangor that charged are on the point. So like this is incredible for Tzeentch.
Wow. Wow. So true. I see.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the third one is kind of like, congratulations, you've tabled your opponent, and you just put 3 units in the center. So this one's really easy to do if you're like in control of the battle, and obviously not that easy to do. It's highly dependent on the state of the board.
Right. It's a win
so
more kind of thing. It sounds like.
Yeah. So as opposed to the last battle tactic card, this one is like starts easy.
Right.
Then it introduces like a really difficult situational thing to do. Then if you do that one, chances are you're probably going to be okay with the third one, and you're fine. Wow. So it's kind of like you're probably scoring 1 or 3 with this card most of the time.
Crazy.
So it's kind of interesting. And then Droodle says, interesting bit about second tactic is units that can be revived count towards this. Yeah, that's true. So Skaven's really good at this as well. So let's say, like on the Screaming Ballot cast, it's a Gnawhole on itself. And then it by itself charges onto an objective, fights something, and then poops out a revived unit of clan rats onto that objective. Right. That counts.
But you can't, you would only be able to do that if you're not in combat, though, right?
The clan rats can't. They'd have to be pooped out, not in combat. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I see. So you have to make sure you kill the thing, but then you could still.
Or kill enough of it that you can like barely touch the point. It doesn't have to be wholly on the objective. It just has to be.
Right.
Like touching it.
I see. So you could also just like theoretically teleport it as well and then poop it out at the end. I see. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, that's another good example. There's plenty of other examples that are good at doing that as well. So this is like, I think last one required you to have damage in multiple phases to be good. This one requires you to have some form of out of phase movement, or recursion of some kind,
right?
Or out of phase setup or something like that. So you basically, this is like the you need movement shenanigans to reliably get step 2.
Right.
Otherwise, it's like, because the key thing is that like it's an objective you control within enemy territory is the one step that I actually messed up in Tacoma as well and ended up not scoring this tactic for, because I was like, haha, I've got my unit that's stuck in combat on my own objective and I'm going to go save them and get this.
Right.
This tactic.
I actually forgot about the fact that you need 1 unit to charge. So that is, theoretically you need at least an enemy unit nearby as well. Huh. Wow.
Yeah, so it's tricky.
Weird.
But part 1 is like, if you really want to do it, you can score this tactic.
For sure.
Almost uncontested.
For sure.
Like there's almost nothing your opponent can do to stop it, really, on most maps.
Yeah.
However, the punishment for being bad out of position might be horrible for you, so it might not be worth doing it, kind of thing.
That's true.
So this is another one that a lot of people take a lot, like, and I've even seen a pair of Siege of Ashes and Blazing Onslaught together in like a lot of singles lists, just because it's like, here's some relatively guaranteed tactics, so here you go.
Right.
It's not too hard. Like with the combination of these two, scoring like 3 or 4 tactics, not unreasonable. Generally speaking, for everyone.
Right.
So I think, that being said, this is like also mostly applicable or
Okay.
like mostly takeable for everyone.
That makes sense. If
Just
I
because it's like everyone can hold hands outside of their territory, and then it's debatable whether like every army can technically do step two, but the right situation just has to accidentally happen.
I see.
Or you have access to out of phase movement or recursion or like a teleport into combat or something like that.
I see. Wow.
Yeah. Another good example, I think, I might be wrong about this, but I think Eltharion is really good for this as well. Because I don't know that his teleport counts as a move. You know how he teleports
Oh
into
yeah,
combat?
yeah, yeah.
So like if you just go and
Huh.
charge like Dawn Riders onto a point and then teleport Eltharion.
Weird.
I know he counts as having charged now, but I don't know because I don't know if it's like actually a move ability, but I'll check that.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Um, should we move on to the next one?
Yep. It's not a move ability, so
Oh, crazy.
Eltharion's really good at scoring that tactic too.
Wow. Yeah, that's super good.
Yeah. So a lot of the new books are pretty happy with the Siege of Ashes.
Right. That's cool.
Yep.
Do you want me to read this one out for you so you're not reading the whole time?
Do it.
Sure. So, Flanking Firestorm. The first one is called a fray, and it also doesn't need some kind of pre-game, pick a something or whatever. Anyway, the first part is you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if two or more objectives or non-faction terrain features that you control in any combination are each contested by a different friendly unit that is more than 6 inches from friendly territory and was not set up this turn. When you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn, if two or more objectives, or non-faction terrain features that you control in any combination are contested by a different unit from friendly territory. So it has to be at least outside of, do they have to be outside of 6 inches of friendly territory, or do the units or terrain features have to be?
The unit itself.
The
has
unit
to be.
that is contesting it.
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. That seems pretty easy.
It kind of lives and dies on the battle plan.
I can see that.
If you have a battle plan that's like 90% of what is like accessible to your opponent is like on the line, therefore not applicable. So let's say you have
right.
sometimes an objective is technically in both enemy and friendly territory because
Right.
it's on the line, right?
Yeah.
That
But that's
can
why
it can never possibly be applicable to this because the unit contesting that objective
Right,
by
they have to be-
definition can't be
it
outside
can't
of
be.
say,
Yeah, that's true.
friendly
That's
territory.
true. Huh. But it can also be a terrain feature, though.
It can be, but sometimes it's kind of the same thing where like the only terrain feature that's close by is really difficult to like properly contest in the way that this this tactic is asking for.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of like an example mission where this is really hard. And obviously it depends on your units too. Like
Right.
if you have a gigantic unit, it's going to be really hard
That's true.
to satisfy this tactic
And
that
like,
way.
there's other conditions too that make it easier or more difficult. Your access to teleportation and different things like that. Like there's usually like there's usually at least a couple of terrain features that are towards the back of the board. And like they can either just, protect from your army entering that zone, or play the battle as they would, and then it kind of allows you to just teleport in the back and take it, or not. But yeah, interesting. Okay. And then part 2 is you complete this battle tactic. Sorry, did you have anything to add before I go on?
No, you can continue.
You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if two or more friendly units that were not set up this turn are each within 9 inches of a different corner of the battlefield and wholly outside friendly territory. This kind of almost plays into that last scenario. Like if you're Zeech or like an army with a lot of teleportation, you could kind of just do the one tactic and then do the second tactic.
Yeah.
The
The
next
key is
turn.
that you can't be set up that turn.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. So you teleport them in the first turn, they score part 1, and then they're already just chilling there with their shoes off, and then they score part 2.
Yep.
but again, that is provided that they have access to. So like so far, this to me, you know, sounds like it's good for like not as many armies, but it does seem quite good to me for certain armies. Now, we'll keep going, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not.
Sure.
Third part 3, domination. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if there are more friendly units within enemy territory than enemy units. Wait, if there are more friendly units within enemy territory. Oh, I see that enemy units. I was adding more to that. And there is at least one friendly hero wholly within enemy territory. Yeah, I mean, this sounds like a win more kind of thing too. Like, if you've got more friendly units in enemy territory than there are enemy units, it sounds like you're already doing quite well.
Now, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent,
you could have just...
You can see flanking Firestorm in one of two ways. Like, number one is, I'm a tricky, like, super fast movement army, and I'm going to satisfy this regardless of what my opponent does. Or
right.
The second one is, I have tabled you.
Right.
And now I'm going to go do my side quests.
Yeah, kind of, right?
Yeah, so it's kind of just like, how confident are you in your list to be taking this, right?
Right.
Because technically, this is one of the ones where there's no interaction required with your opponent. It's purely positional, right? It's like if you table your opponent bottom of 1, let's say your opponent just walks everything forward and you put 20 chosen into them and fight twice and just evaporate their army.
Did you just say 20 chodes?
Chosen.
Oh, chosen. No. What is this new term? No. I've been out of the zeitgeist for too long, man. This game
put 20 chodes up the board, fight twice again. No,
is that a new ogre unit I'm not aware of?
Yeah, ogre chodes. Yeah.
Ogre chodes. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Sound like my kind of guys.
But so yeah, and then you score this like rounds 2 through 4, and then you're good, right?
Right.
But this, you have to assume that you're gonna play a competent opponent at some point that's gonna make you kind of struggle for stuff, and in which case it becomes actively bad for those types of armies that are just walk forward and punch the crap out of you, because their surface area tends to not be very good, or their speed, right?
Right.
So this is also one that I alluded to before we started, where like most of the tactics are fairly battle plan agnostic. This one is really not. This one is very there's a lot of stuff on the battle plan that could mess with it, or make it really easy as well.
Right. Right.
Like as an example, when I played against Fred Schmidt at Tacoma, and he had this tactic, and we were playing, I think, Bloodstained Coasts, which is the one where the objectives like swap back and forth.
Okay.
But it's also like a weird eye shape where there's like a bar of friendly territory, and then a little tiny bit of friendly territory,
right.
and then a little tiny bit of enemy territory, and then a bar of So that made it really easy for him to satisfy part 1, just because there's a whole bunch of different there isn't any possible way I could deny him getting that tactic for that long.
Interesting.
It took him a little while, just purely for OC reasons, but he was going to get it at some point, and sometimes that's just the case.
Interesting. So okay, having said all of that, wait, what was
so I kind of want to change the tier list now. Actually,
okay, yeah, let's do it. Okay.
I think.
Do you want to add some?
Well, spoilers. I don't think there's any There's no universally untakeable.
Okay.
Tactics, in my opinion.
So
I think
we just talk about should we be maybe the tier list should be like, instead of mostly takeable, it should be like what is it, like army dependent good? And then,
I think it's like universally good, mostly takeable.
Okay.
Situationally takeable.
Okay.
Mostly untakeable. That's where I think it should probably be.
Oh wait.
Or like army dependent makes sense too.
Yeah. What do I need to change? Just the bottom one?
Just the bottom one, and then like bump it up a bracket. It's like somewhere in the middle where it's kind of like some people can take it and some people can't, right?
So some can, some can't?
Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
And spoilers, I think that's where this goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but you want, and you said I should put it in the middle more, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think most of the untakeables should be bottom tier.
Okay. So I see. So that this is basically like this is like middle grade, and then mostly takeable is like a B, right? And then mostly untakeable is like below that, and then universally good is like really quite strong. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I feel like we're not even going to have any that's universally good, to be honest. But
I suspect
we'll
that is the case as well.
okay,
But we'll
okay,
see.
we'll
Yeah.
see, we'll see. We'll go through it. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
So I think, and we can get more granular and like make more tiers later if we want to. But
For sure. Yeah.
we'll see. So I think that's kind of where this is at. Like, obviously, this tactic sort of demands an abundance of units, speed and or teleports, and relatively good OC or like a dominating position.
Right.
So
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't this one be kind of good for ogres, because there is like a decent amount of, I mean, I guess it would depend on your list, but I was thinking like they're good at killing stuff, they're good at moving, and there are some teleports, so you could maybe get it when the map isn't super favorable.
yeah, there's some units at ogres that make this really good, like hunters.
Right.
They
Oh, I
have
forgot about
their
hunters. Right.
they have their teleport in the deployment phase, which
Right.
makes it so that you might actually be able to score this round one.
Round one. That'd be wild.
Depending on how your opponent deploys, obviously, and what the map is.
I see.
But there's also some ogres lists that are like, it's red and 40 gluttons,
Right.
and at that point, it's like it's not as good. Like maybe eventually you'll score this after you bulldoze your opponent, kind of thing. But it wasn't built to do these tactics,
Interesting.
so it might not be great.
Okay.
And I think like rather than focusing on lists that would be good at doing this, I might say like some armies that shouldn't take this.
Yes.
And I
please.
think that Slaves to Darkness, you probably should not take this just because you don't have an abundance of units. You're usually not that fast.
Right.
And unless you're Dark Wolf. But I'm saying like the classic Varangard Chosen, like Wall of Iron, Slaves to Darkness lists.
Right.
Maybe not a great idea to do this.
Maybe.
Sons of Behemoth, don't do it.
Bad.
You have 4 models on the table. You can't afford to have 2 of them within 9 inches of the corner. Like,
Right.
unless you've already tabled your opponent, then sure. But
Right.
you know, it's kind of demanding that you're putting 2 units out of position.
Right.
And basically, if your list can't afford to have 2 units out of position at any given time,
Yeah.
you shouldn't take this tactic.
Right. Maybe Fire Slayers, as they currently sit, also bad.
Yeah, it depends. Like,
They're kind of
if
slow,
you have,
right?
yeah, but if you have like Magma Droths and there's like five of them, or
okay.
even like 3 of them and a bunch of foot dudes, maybe it's okay. But I wouldn't pick this first for Fire Slayers. Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
What about Nurgle? Do they have access to teleports?
Nurgle, I think there's like the Slime Fleet guy that can deep strike,
Okay.
but
yeah,
I don't know that. Yeah,
they seem kind of bad at this too. Maybe.
Nurgle would be pretty bad at this. Yeah, because if you have to, like, one thing is that it just says within 9
Right.
of a different quarter.
Right.
So that means that you could have one dude with his tiny pinky toe touching within 9 inches of the corner, and the rest of the unit like stretched out. So you could technically have a unit of clan rats like barely touching, within 9 of the board edge, and then also touching the center of the table,
Wow.
and like contesting objectives and stuff like that.
I see.
So if you have like really big chaff units, then yeah, it's not so bad.
I see.
It's not a big deal, but generally, like, yeah, low surface area, can't afford to have units in weird positions, does not like these tactics. But Skaven would probably be good at this, because you have the ability to kind of get to weird random places, and
And to be honest, I kind of want to take it.
yep,
This seems
think-
like kind of a Rob tactic. Where,
yeah,
like,
haha, yeah,
like there's that part of it, but then there's also the incentive to kill things, which is something I always gravitate towards. You
yeah.
know?
Also, regarding the Nurgle teleport,
Yeah.
yes, Kinkerborner, they can
Oh,
teleport.
Cankerborn. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
That being said, like,
thanks for that.
even if you have a teleport, step 1, you can't have been set up. So you're basically teleporting them, hoping that they don't die for an entire turn,
Right.
and then gain control of an objective. So it's kind of like, or terrain feature. So it's kind of like, is this really the best thing
Right.
for you to be taking? Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
it seems like you're kind of like cramming a square peg into a circle hole type thing. But
That's very fair. By the way, I
yeah,
didn't point in the right spot. Thank you, Rye. You're down there. You're not up there. It's just my screen.
you're down there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on to the next one?
Smoke screen.
Smokescreen was something I was looking at, and this is kind of what I've been thinking about when I talk about. I think this is the one. I'm pretty sure this is the one I was talking about when I said it seems like they're trying to incentivize OC, messing with OC. Anyway, so Smokescreen, part 1, a fray. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if you control an objective that is contested by at least one enemy unit. So you need to get onto it and you need to control it, but you can't kill them all or you're screwed because then they're not there at the end of the turn when you would score this. Part 2, you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if more friendly units were destroyed this turn than enemy units. This one's like super classic like style of battle tactic. This is like the oldest style of tactic that's in any part of any of these battle tactics, it seems like. Pretty self-explanatory. You complete this battle tactic at the part 3, you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if you control each objective within enemy territory. That's going to be hard unless you have already won the game.
Yep. Yep.
Or they've completely evacuated their territory and are in your territory. And, so you're both just switching territories. Right?
Yeah, so this is another weird one where it's like, also Devin says, this is the wrathful of this GHB. I think I agree. Where like...
Meaning what?
It's kind of like, you have to do kind of good.
Oh,
and then do bad. And then do good again.
Oh, man.
And it's
that
like...
sounds awful.
Well, it just requires like you're basically like predicting a cadence of the game, which is almost impossible given how many different armies you could face and how many different battle plans you could be on.
The other thing too is like let's say you've got like a unit of 2, like your enemy or your opponent, your enemy has like a unit with like let's say 3 elite duders, right? You go in there, and you're like, well, I can't kill all of them, but I'm not going to kill all of them with 20 clan rats, right? But you kill one of them. Or whatever, or what am I trying to say? Like part of this is like, okay, you could put some guys on like an objective essentially, and then they're like, okay, I'm gonna go for keep the enemy close, and then you're like, haha, I move them off during your movement phase. You know what I mean? Like there's so many ways of screwing with this.
Yeah.
This was the one I was initially looking at, but the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I hate it. But I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, I think most people really don't like this one.
Oh, really?
I think that most of the time, if you're seeing this tactic, it's because it's a team's format and someone had to.
Oh, wow.
Because someone will have to take one of every... someone has to take.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who would choose to take this over any other tactics necessarily.
Right. Nurgle?
But yeah, because it's like step 1 is like I threw my crap at your crap and my crap did better but didn't kill you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
but
Nurgle's
also,
like,
if you can mess with your OC or their OC, you can also kind of manipulate this to the point where you can maybe not make it guaranteed, but like change the odds in your favor, and because you have like really hardy crap like Nurgle, maybe that'll work for you. Night Haunt, yeah, it's another good example. I think they mess with OC pretty good too, as well. So
yeah, they subtract 1 from your OC. That is the number of the battle round,
right?
Yeah.
So
and like Step 2 is kind of weird though when it
Yeah.
comes to that, because like Nurgle, you know, you have like a lot of rot swords and stuff like that, so you kind of have to designate like die for daddy units, and it's just like it's hard to keep them alive until the right part.
Yeah.
Nighthawk might be a little bit better than that, but I don't know that you like particularly want to have stuff die. I saw someone, Catharsis Chaser in the chat, say that Soulblight Gravelords would work well for this, which I think is reasonable because it's like, yeah, you can like swarm an objective with zombies, and they're not going to kill anything, and they're just so many bodies that they'll take it for sure.
Right.
And then like losing units is not a big deal. You just like throw fell bats at someone
Right.
or something like that just to have them die. And then turn 3 is basically you've tabled your opponent, which might be harder, but then again, like if you can score 2 reliably, that's fine.
Oh my
So
gosh, I totally brain farted while reading this out. I was thinking you have to kill more part 2 than lose, but it's the opposite. Oh god.
yeah,
This sucks.
yeah, it's not great.
This is
Yeah,
bad.
so like for most armies,
Oh,
not going to be takeable. So I think this is
right.
our mostly not takeable choice.
Right.
But there's some armies that will probably be fine at doing it.
Right.
Like Soulblight will probably be fine at doing this. I think even ogres with their like walk into combat at the end of the turn could do it, but I guess scoring step 2 is not great. So
No.
Zinch might be fine
Okay.
with it, just because
Right. Yeah,
they can spawn pin something and then just
the
have it
spawn
die.
dies. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Like, okay, I'm just gonna make a thought experiment. I don't know if this is. It's just not an idea occurred to me. Would part 2? Could you have like part 2 where you kind of run up and throw your army into something, and then either you smash them into the ground or you score your tactic. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe it'll make them be like, well, I don't want to kill you because then you're going to score points, but if I don't, then I'm going to die. So it's kind of like is that like you think that might work as like almost like a psychological approach?
This is where it kind of ties back to teams, I think, where if you're assuming that everyone's probably scoring 2 tactics,
Right.
then, you know, like Devin said, this is the Wrathful of this GHB, and the defenders of last GHB typically got stuck with Wrathful.
I
So it's
see.
just like,
It's like try
you're
not
probably
to.
scoring the first 2 steps of this,
Right.
you know, if you're losing kind
Well,
of thing. And then you shouldn't lose as bad, and that's it.
and most armies have something reasonably fast that is good at dying. Terra wings, fellbats, like you said. You know, like there's lots of examples. You know, like Skaven have doom flares. You know what I mean? Like there's usually something. So you could, if you build around it, you'll probably get both of these, right? The first part is the hard part, though, isn't it?
No, I don't think the first part's that hard. I think there's plenty of times where, like, you charge onto an objective and don't quite kill
Like
something.
super chaffy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
If you have anything chaff or anything grindy, it's like not that big of a deal. So, like first part, I would say actually most armies should get at some point in a game.
Okay.
So it's not unreasonable of a take just to be like, I'm gonna score this at some point. It's fine,
Right.
unless you're just getting absolutely murdered. But
I mean,
it's
if they,
probably
if
fine.
they just have like all hammers, though, too, you know what I mean?
Not great.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
what
this
to
is
do
horrible into like, you know, 20 chosen Bellicor slaves to
here.
darkness.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they're
yeah,
just like,
exactly. Yeah,
can throw something in. Like,
do it. Throw that unit
So-
away. Cool. We're not at part 2 yet, huh? Anyway, what is your? Wait, I keep forgetting what they're called. Smoke screen. How did I forget that? Is this the first one that goes in mostly untakeable?
It is. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, the more I looked at it, the more I kind of hate it. I never liked it to begin with, to be honest, because like it was like one of those things where it's like I have to put in a unit next to another unit where they can't kill them, And I kind of just like hate the idea of that. Like we're supposed to be having a battle. Like when would I ever want my guys to not kill one of your units? It seems like the antithesis of like what we're here to be doing, you know? But I was starting to like trying to figure out ways because like with like Skaven, for example, like, you know, I can make my clan rats increase their OC score with the Molder ability. And so then like, I'm just like throwing a bunch of bodies in. So I was like, okay, I think I can figure out how to complete this part 1. But then yeah, part 2 is also like, I have to have more of my units die. Again, this seems very, you know, it seems like the opposite of what I should be doing in a battle.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it feels like you're not being rewarded for doing what you want to do most of the time.
Yeah.
You're serving the battle tactic as opposed to it rewarding you.
And that's kind of what it felt like. Remember Take the Flanks before? It was like, it's what you tended to do turn 1, but you kind of were forced to put units, like, to hang units, essentially, and then they always ended up dying. Anyway, I digress. Okay. Burning for Vengeance. Would you mind reading
another
this one?
Yeah, I can do that.
Thanks.
It's another one that's got a pre-game thing. So at the start of the battle, after using all deployment visibilities, but before determining which player will take the first turn, you pick an enemy hero on the battlefield or in reserve to be the fugitive. So instead of your opponent picking it, it's you picking it this time. And you're basically pointing at one of your opponent's heroes and saying, that's the guy. That's
Right.
the guy I want to be near and or kill.
Right.
Is essentially the theme of this.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible to have an army where there are no heroes on the battlefield?
Stormcast?
So in that case, what happens? What do you do?
It says on the battlefield or in reserve.
I'm sorry. Oh, never mind.
It's okay.
God damn it. I'm tired.
No worries.
Okay. Okay. So I see. That's really good because, like, even if you were just being able to force them to pick whatever thing that was going to be impossible to kill on the battlefield, that would be bad enough, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. So step 1 is if at the end of your turn there's a different friendly unit wholly within each large quarter of the battlefield, those friendly units are more than 9 inches from the center of the battlefield and no more than one of those units was set up this turn, then you score it. So this is a little tough
Right.
to do this one. Like it's a little like army dependent.
Right.
Again, if you're leaning into those low surface area built like Gargants, you have 4 models. You
Right.
have to be in completely different parts of the table.
Right.
Don't take this tactic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is already a no-go for stuff like that.
Right.
So, and then step 2 is you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if one of the following is true. There are 3 or more friendly units that are not in combat and are within 12 inches of the enemy fugitive, or
Okay.
there is no enemy fugitive on the battlefield. So either you're near the guy but not touching anyone, or the guy's dead
Right.
and you're good. And then the last part is you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if one of the following is true. There are 3 or more friendly units in combat with the enemy fugitive, or there is no enemy fugitive on the battlefield, and 3 or more friendly units are contesting the same objective that is wholly outside friendly territory.
Good luck.
So, no, I don't think that's too bad.
Actually,
I think
like,
like, this is like
I keep forgetting you can kill him. Yeah.
you just kill him,
Yeah.
and then be somewhere else.
And then
It's not a big deal.
just be somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Fair enough. Oh.
So, or the guy's not deployed, like Razor said. Yeah. So, like, let's say you pick.
Oh yeah, good call.
What's that hero that likes to deep strike in with people in Zinch? You pick that guy,
the
and you're like,
Summoner.
better put him on the table, otherwise I'm going to score my tack. No, not the Gun Summoner. The Fate Master, is it? He brings people in with him from
It
like
used to be
anywhere
the
outside. of-
Gaunt Summoner, but I guess it's not anymore.
I want to say it's like Fate Master or
Oh,
some
Magister
Fate
on disc.
Weaver or something.
Some fate guy. Whoa.
Yeah, it's the Fate Master.
Fate Master. Okay.
So you're playing against Zeech, and you know that one of their tech things is like saving up fate points and keeping a Fate Master in the sky.
Crazy.
And you're like, okay, I picked Fate Master to be the fugitive. You better put him on the battlefield, otherwise I'm going to score my tactics.
Whoa.
So, you know, this can be good into certain armies in that regard.
Right. So you just need to get part 1, and then otherwise it's like you got to get his ass on there.
Yeah, so the hurdle is like it's definitely scoring part 1. You have to be careful about which hero you pick, because I've had opponents where like I'll pick one of their heroes and they're like, okay, that guy's gonna sit in the corner of the table now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, dang it. So
Yeah.
you kind of have to hope that your opponent has a hero that they really want to have near you.
Right.
So yeah, like if you're
Yeah, like you can't do that with like a mega boss on Maw Crusher. You're like, I got to get value out of this motherfucker. Or it's just
exactly.
Yeah.
Or like if your opponent has like Kragnos, you're like, he's gonna be near me at some point.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So,
or he's gonna be in the corner doing nothing, and it takes like a 30-year army doing nothing. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so I like this tactic in that opponent list depending, it forces your opponent to make either bad decisions or like reward you for your tactic choice kind of thing.
Wow.
So because you get to be the one that picks the fugitive, chances are your opponent has a hero that they want to have somewhere near the front line.
Yeah, Red the Maw. You know?
Yep, Red the Maw. That would be a good choice for sure.
Bring him forward.
Gotta get close to him.
Yeah.
And I like that you don't have to kill them. Like it could be like
you just gotta be close.
Let's say you're like Soulblight against ogres, you whip like 40 zombies in, just like tie up a bunch of ogres or something like that. Not that it'll tie up for long, but then you just kind of hover outside of 12 with other stuff.
Right.
It's great. Slanesh is really good at scoring this tactic because it moves d6 at the end of the turn.
Ooh.
And it can go do its thing and then just like shift closer to the fugitive and be like, okay, now I'm within 12. I'm good. So I think the biggest hurdle is like, or rather, if you are an army that is comfortable staying present in the game for like rounds 2 through 5, essentially.
Right.
All you have to do is be able to satisfy step 1.
Right.
Which is not an easy ask.
No.
Like I said,
no, it
Gargants,
really isn't.
You cannot do this with it. Like if you lose one Gargant, you just can't score this tactic anymore.
Right.
So it requires you to have like quite a bit of units, or have like, if you're like a 2-drop with 7 to 8 units, you have to score this like round 1 or it's not happening.
Right.
And I think the thing that gets most people is you have to be more than 9 from the center of the battlefield, and this is quite a dense mission pack.
Oh,
so
right.
You kind of want to be near the center. So
well, and like none of them can be near the center, but oh yeah, it's 9 inches is pretty far. But like on in your 2 quarters of the battlefield, that's pretty easy. But it's the enemy, side of the battlefield where it gets hard. So you either have to be on the flanks or in the back row. So
yeah, so like really good examples of stuff that'll be able to do this well are like if you have like any of those cheap chaff flying units. So actually like Slaves of Darkness could be a decent option for this, in that you have access to Furies and maybe those could just fly over a board edge. Seraphon, you've got your little Terror Wings.
Yeah. And you've got other things like Ripperdactyls and stuff. That, Also, by the way, you can teleport them in one of the what do you call it? Factions. Like you don't need to 3
only one of them can teleport
for sure, but you can set it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then go for it.
Ogres has cute tech with this now, where the hunters, when they use their deployment phase teleport, technically it's not that turn, so. They do their deployment phase teleport, and then they don't count as having teleported for the purposes of this tactic, and then you just need to really do 3 quarters.
Right.
So it's not as bad. That requires you to take them, though, and for your opponent to... like, there's some maps where it's kind of difficult to do this, even if you have a teleport or some shenanigans. Because if they just deploy, like, on the line, usually you're just like, please don't countercharge me 8 inches and kill my chaff that I'm doing for this tactic. Like, it's a little hard. Soulblight, pretty good at this tactic, too. If you have like Fellbats,
and you could do it with recurred units anyway too, right? So
one recurred unit, but
oh, I see, right?
Because only one can be set up.
That's true. Yeah, good point.
So it's really like if you think you can get over the hurdle of the first one relatively easily, I think it's good, and I think that Burning for Vengeance is an excellent tactic choice for some armies, and for some other armies, it's just a complete non-starter.
Right.
So I think it's like good for some not for others.
Okay.
Kind of come to it. Even though I think like generally most armies should be able to kind of do it.
Right.
It's tough.
I
Like
like it.
the table quarters is actually quite tough to line up against a competent opponent,
Right.
depending on the map.
Right. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And last and maybe least, we'll see, I guess, is Legend of the Parch. Daring Rescues Part 1. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if an enemy unit that was in combat at the start of the turn was destroyed by a combat attack made by a friendly unit that charged this turn. This reads like stereo instructions. They got to stop this shit, okay? So, let's break it down, okay? Okay. So, at the start of the turn, the enemy unit, one second. Like, even I'm getting confused here. Okay. You complete spell attack at the end of your turn if an enemy unit that was in combat at the start of your turn. So at the start of our turn, the person who's going, they have to have an enemy unit that was in combat. And then it has to be destroyed by a combat attack by a friendly unit that charged this turn. Mother of God. Can you, like, what do you think about that, first of all?
I start to think of all of the armies that are like, that can just like move into combat. Like there's two camps for this one. Number one is you have run into my chaff unit and not killed it, and now I'm gonna come kill you. That's step one, right? Like let's say you put 20 clan rats on an objective.
Right.
You've got your screaming bells. They're like -1 to hit, and someone puts in like a medium hammer and just doesn't quite kill them.
Right.
And then they're stuck there.
I see.
You send rat ogres in, kill them.
Right.
Tactic achieved. Right?
Yeah, fair.
So it's like there's that style where it's like if you think you have this kind of counterpunch screen play style,
Yeah.
it's pretty easy to score that part. And then the other one is if you have like any sort of end of turn or beginning of turn move into combat. So like an example that I can think of would be the Wind Rune for Lumineth Realm Lords, where at the start of the battle round, start of the battle round, they can like just shunt 3 inches closer.
I see.
Into combat. So let's say you have like the Wind Chargers, or sorry, the Kangaroos basically.
Yeah.
If they just like move 3 inches into combat with something, and then Eltharion comes and kills it,
Right.
that satisfies this tactic. So
For sure.
and then another example would be like Ogres has an end of turn move with their subfaction. Slanesh has an end of turn move. Maybe let's say Seraphon with your Sunclaw Star Host. If you like pile into combat with something else, with like your end of turn pile in, and then it's your turn, and then you go and kill something. Like there's ways to line it up in most.
Yeah, I can
like
see
in a lot of different armies.
It feels like that's hard to do though. And then the other issue is that it doesn't a lot of this kind of depend on what your opponent is doing. Like, doesn't your opponent have a lot of ways of effing with this and making it?
Sometimes I get like it. There's just like if you have cool tech, you can usually reliably do this. And actually, Catharsis brings up a funny point in the chat, which is Free Guild Cavaliers can technically complete this by themselves because they can charge while they're in combat.
Oh, that's crazy.
So, like if you have a unit that is able to charge even if it is in combat,
that's wild.
Then you did it. Like that works.
I mean, that is a particular, I guess technically
any retreat and charge unit. So OBR actually is really good at this tactic.
Wow. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's like different.
You tag some OBR Cavalos Death Riders, and they're like, okay, I'm going to relentless discipline them to retreat and charge.
Right.
And they'll satisfy it by themselves. So it's like if you have access to the tech, it's very easy. And then if you just have a simple screen counterpunch playstyle, it's like moderately likely that it's going to happen.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm coming around a bit. Part 2, you complete this battle tech at the end of your turn if there are 2 or more friendly heroes on the battlefield. And all friendly heroes are within 9 inches of a visible enemy unit, and no friendly heroes were slain this turn. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like have your heroes near the enemy
Right.
and not dead.
And
And
not
that's it.
dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So this starts to lean a little bit more into like, and again, once again, OBR is really good at this one, just because, let's say you've got your Cavalos, or sorry, your Liege Cavalos, which follows your horses around as you charge,
Right.
and then you just kind of position it such that after you do your wedge, you like wedge, and then you move your dude closer to make sure that he's within 9 of something, and then you just need one other hero to be within 9, and you're good.
Right.
But this also kind of plays into that screen counterpunch play style where it's like, yeah, you got your front line and they're just kind of grinding, and then you just put your heroes behind them. So Nurgle would be really good at that.
But the other thing though too is that like a lot of times to have multiple like how many heroes do most people have? Like you probably don't have 2 big heroes in most armies. Like maybe you do, but then you've only got 2. You know? So if one of them dies, you can't complete this tactic, etc., etc., right?
Yeah. Like it's harder, but it's doable, I think. Still.
Okay. That's fair.
Like I think this is probably on par of like step 2 of Siege of Ashes, where you need to do like the unit that didn't move and unit that charged contesting an objective. In fact, it's maybe easier than it.
I think it probably is depending, on your build.
It depends on your list, yeah, for sure. But I think this isn't. It's not too huge of an ask, and for sure, if you've got a list where it's just not possible to do that, like maybe if you're a 1-drop, or no, if you're a 1-drop, it's fine. Actually, it's good. But if
you're a
are the type
1-drop,
of
then
list,
you probably don't have like you're going to have like a max of like 2 heroes, probably, right?
yeah, so it is probably perfectly fine to run that if you have a 1-drop.
I see.
But step 1 might be hard. But I think Soulblight is probably actually not good at step 2 of this one, just because they tend to have like 5 heroes or something.
Why are you singling out Soulblight? Just like
I talk about them a lot just because of proximity to them. Like I know people that play Soulblight and Zinch and stuff like that, but it's been mentioned a couple times in the chat too.
I see. Interesting.
But just to use it as an example, but I don't know, any army that's just got tons of heroes that are all kind of doing different things, it's going to be harder to line this up,
right?
Just by sheer quantity.
That's true.
So
Keith brings up a good point. I'm terrible about, we call it promoting our own channel. Hit the like button, subscribe. It's fun. Thanks for reminding me, Keith. Even though we're an hour and 40 minutes in, I got to get better at that. It's crazy. Anyway, my thanks again to you. In part 3, you complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if you control an objective wholly outside of your territory that you did not control at the start of your turn, and a friendly hero is contesting that objective. So you kind of need your hero to stick around. This one isn't that bad. It's just, but again, it's like, I don't know. It feels like you're already winning. It's another one of those ones where if you're, it sounds like you're already winning. If you're able to get like a hero on an enemy objective after doing those other 2 things.
it's battle plan dependent too.
That's true. That's
like,
a good point. Yeah.
This is like, do you remember Restless Energy from the last GHB, where it's just like taking an objective that your opponent controlled?
Right.
It's kind of like that, but just like
it has to be a hero
with a hero.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. So like overall, true. I think this isn't. I think your list just mostly has to not screw itself over with steps 2 and 3, and then the only tricky part is scoring. It'll be step 1. Like you should have an army that has like the tech to be able to satisfy it. Otherwise, it's going to be hard.
Is the Soulblight vampire army good at this one?
The Soulblight vampire army?
Yeah, like the Castali, because can't they charge like multiple times and in combat to complete turn 1, and then you've got Vordry and like the vampire dude on foot, so it's able to move around the battlefield quite well and get heroes within range and kill stuff.
Maybe I'm not super familiar with them, to be honest.
That's fair.
Like,
yeah.
Based on what you described, yeah, it sounds like it. But
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just something that came to mind. Who else? Who else would be good at this? Maybe, maybe pigs. Like get a bunch of those dudes on giant pig. They're pretty killy.
Yep. I think Nighthaunt would actually be pretty decent at this.
Really?
Oh yeah, because you have Retreat and Charge and Nighthaunt as a sub faction, which is
For
really good for step
sure.
one.
For
And
step
then
one, yeah.
step
Oh,
two,
you got a lot
Nighthaunt,
of heroes too. That's a good point.
you have a lot of heroes, but
Yeah.
they also kind of want to be like near the grind, if not in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. In your
And
business.
so they're just kind of like hanging out and doing whatever. And then for step three, you teleport any unit for a CP.
Yeah, that's a good
And there
point.
you go.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point actually.
So Nighthaunt would probably be pretty good at this one.
Yeah, I like it. I guess anything with like killy heroes too.
Well,
Like,
you don't want your heroes to like flat out kill units because you have to be within 9 of a visible enemy unit at the end,
oh,
which is kind of tough.
oh, for part
If,
two.
like,
That's true. Yeah, for part
Yeah.
two. That's a good point. Yeah. I was thinking for the third one too, you could charge in something that's super killy and then it just wipes them out and then it completes all that stuff on its own. Okay. Okay. Where would you put them, do you think?
I think this one is probably another good for some, bad for others.
So like absolute middle tier?
Yeah.
Right on.
And I think ranking the mid tier one, because in the mid tier we've got Burning for Vengeance, Legend of the Parch, and Flanking Firestorm, right?
Yeah. That's correct.
I would probably put Burning for Vengeance is like top of that tier,
Okay. Yeah.
I think. And then
I'm trying to remember.
I don't know, Flanking Firestorm is probably bottom of that tier.
Interesting.
Because I think less people will have the ability to do it. Actually, maybe not. Maybe Legend of the Parch. It's pretty close between Legend of the Parch and Flanking Firestorm, in my opinion.
I see. It could go either way.
Yeah. But what do you think?
Oh man. I personally like Flanking Firestorm more because it doesn't require your opponent to have stuff that's alive.
That's true. Yeah, so Flanking Firestorm is probably better. Just because technically, if let's say you're like the big fish in a small pond of your local meta and you're just like big Slaves to Darkness player, you're like, I'm just going to do Flanking Firestorm because I'm going to table everyone.
Yeah.
Then
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
going to score all 3 every game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and as it pertains as well to like even a team format or anything, I just, for me personally, like I just tend to lean that way. But yeah. And what do you think about the mostly takeable? What between Blazing Onslaught and Siege of Asses?
I think Blazing Onslaught is it's tough because like you're probably more likely to score 2 of them. But if you can score part 2 of Siege of Ashes, you're probably also going to score part 3. I think Siege of Ashes is probably the most
Okay.
universally takeable
Okay. Neat.
out of them. Yeah.
And that's because of like
I
you're
think
more
it's
likely
just
to get
literally
3 of them.
Well, yeah, and then like thinking about this as like how many armies can make use of this tactic. I can't think of an army that would like not really want to do this tactic.
Wow.
Like every army is technically capable of doing this tactic.
That was Siege
It's just
of
step 2
Asses.
might be hard, right? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what step 2 of Siege of Asses was. At
Um,
least one friendly that did not use a move ability and one other that charged. I see. Right. Huh. Okay. I like that though.
Yeah, because it's like every army can technically satisfy all 3 of those things. The same
Right.
is not true for Blazing Onslaught. If you only do damage in the combat phase and the end of turn, it's just not a tactic you can take.
I see. I see. So now, do you think that like depending on your army, like some of these might be way better. Like, you're not saying that Siege of Asses is the best for every army. You're just saying that it's more universally takeable than the other ones.
Yeah.
I see.
And I think if there's like a new person that's about to go to their first tournament and they're like, oh god, I have no idea what tactics to take. If you took those two tactics and mostly takeable, like you'd have the best chance at random, like the best chance at doing it.
Assuming you're not giants or like some kind of weird, army that's like skew, essentially.
Yeah. Right. That's an important thing to note about Siege of Ashes, actually.
Right.
Now that I think of it, maybe giants can't do that tactic because you have to be wholly within 6 of friendly territory. And I'm pretty sure that base is more than 6 inches.
Oh, it might be.
Like I know that the big pie plate base that the cog fort is on is more than 6 inches.
It definitely is, for sure. Yeah.
You can't actually do that tactic.
Yeah, there's we can do this in our heads, right? What is it? 25.4 millimeters?
25.2.
25.2. Okay. So 25.2. So if they are 100 millimeters, then you could. And if they're 130, right?
160 is that cog fort.
No. The giants.
Are they 130?
I don't know. I think they're I don't think they're 160 though. They're definitely not a 160 for the.
Okay, gotcha.
The big giants.
So the giants are okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's it's like cog forts, Vordry, and Red the Maw is going to be on 160. Arachnarok, yeah. Those can't. Those are the ones. Yeah, Alariel as well. Thank you, Droodles.
Alariel.
Those are the ones that cannot possibly participate
okay.
in the first step of Siege of Ashes.
Okay, cool.
So,
correct me if I'm wrong. So, I'm pretty sure that they're on a 130 millimeter base. I'm almost positive they're not. I don't think they're on a. Yeah.
So the one army I can think of that for sure cannot do this tactic ever. Is the Iron March of cog forts. If you have only cog forts, you can't do this tactic.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Or only Arachnarok's spider army. Yeah, that's true. It is impossible.
Yeah.
Gargants are 130. Okay.
Sweet. Okay, we got there. Is it 25.4? I just corrected.
That's what I thought. But
well, I'm sorry.
No worries. The only reason I remember it is because I made so many videos, we made so many battle reports where people were telling me we weren't in coherency, and I had to explain that each base is 25 millimeters and an inch is 25.4. That's the only reason it's stuck in my head. But I like being corrected. It's a fetish of mine, so that's fine.
Also, why 25 millimeter bases can fight in 4 ranks.
True. That's true.
Yep.
Savadu.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our tier list.
That is our tier list. I will. Shall I? I'll save it and I'll throw it on our Discord. You can join the Discord, obviously for free, by clicking on the link in the description below. Next week, we might do battle plans, I think is the hope.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. And are we going to do it like the same as this week, where it's like depending on the army, basically like mostly takeable and that kind of thing?
Maybe from like the perspective of a TO, like would I include this?
Oh, that's a great idea. Like I'm putting this in every tournament I ever run. And like I'm never putting this in. This is garbage. This is trash. Don't do it. I see. Yeah, I like it. So like,
and then we can obviously talk about like what armies does this battle plan screw over, kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Or tactics.
I like, yeah, that's true. There's tactics as well. Oh man. Well, if you're watching this in the future, or right now. You can put it in the chat here or in the comments below. But like next week, how do you want us to do that? Like what kinds of what do you want to go over? What are you looking for from that video? Do you want us to mainly focus on tactics, armies, or do you want kind of a mixture? Yeah. I mean, there aren't that many tactics. So we can kind of maybe touch on it, but maybe it would be better to focus on the armies.
Like that pertain to the battle plan kind of thing?
Yeah, yeah.
I think generally, like some battle plans might be like, this doesn't affect any specific people of note. And then
Right.
some of them might be like, hey, this specific tactic gets really screwed over by this battle plan. And that would be a good thing to note.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it should be a pretty open discussion, I think.
Okay. So we'll just kind of talk about it in like almost pure tiers, perhaps. Like super fun, good, and like the other thing to talk about with, I mean, we're not doing it now, but this is me just sort of thinking out loud. But like, like some battle plans are like a nightmare to set up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like a big part of it, I think. Where it's like even I'm not playing in tournament and still like there are a lot of battle plans where I'm just like, F this thing. I hate measuring it out. Like, unless you have a Ricky mat, you know what I mean? I hate it. It just takes forever to figure it out. There's that kind of thing. There's also like, sometimes there's battle plans where it's like, you don't want to do it at tournament because like, if you're facing someone who's new to the game, or even like if it's not a tournament, like let's say you're just doing a pickup game at your local store, and like you don't want to just spend forever explaining like the idea like behind the battle plan. You know what I mean? Like I'm so bad with the names, but there's usually like, oh, what was that? What was the one that was like used to teleport around, and there was like this weird graph of like where the I can't remember the name of it. I'm so bad with the names, but like basically like the idea behind it is like sometimes there's like a battle plan where you're just like, I don't want to explain this fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a nightmare to explain. Your opponent doesn't understand it, or it just takes a long time, perhaps. That's part of it too, right? Like where it like that's not going to be a great battle plan. Because it either takes too much time or it's just a nightmare to explain to people. So you're spending your time explaining this thing or going over it or setting up for it when you want to be just jumping into the game. Like that's not something that's fun, right? Setting up like your territory isn't fun. Explaining it to your opponent isn't fun. So that's just like, it's like a time drawback or something. So maybe we could add that in there too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely some things that like they'll make a new player completely bounce off the game.
Yeah.
And some of those things exist in army rules, and some of them definitely exist in battle plans. But like, I've definitely been in the situation where I encounter something that I like didn't anticipate with a very new player at a tournament, and I'm like listening to myself talk, and I'm like, man, if I was a new player, I might think the person across from me is just like cheating.
Yeah.
Like this sounds so stupid.
We've all had that, I think, with army rules.
Yeah. And I'm just like, it sucks to be in that position of like, no, I'm sorry. It works this way.
Yeah.
Or like having to explain it with your opponent. Yeah. With the how the map is structured, you can kind of just gentleman's handshake with your opponent and be like, hey, just let me know what you want to do and I'll help you do it. Like I don't want to screw you over because you forgot to measure like 22 inches from the edge at this specific time, and you were like quarter of an inch off of doing the thing that you were trying to do. If it was possible, it's fine.
Right. Right.
That's what you should do in that situation. But sometimes you end up in a situation where it's like it causes tension.
It
unnecessarily.
It does. I think like, I mean, I've actually, to be honest, that actually happened to me in my very first game of Warhammer ever, where it was like, it said like, what was it? I think it was Gnash Gnaw on their bones or something from like Index Skaven in like 2016 or whatever, and it said, until your next hero phase, right? And my opponent was going, there's no way that's possible. And I was going like, that's just, you're looking at what I have. It says until my next hero phase. But I was winning so hardcore winning that I was just like, that's fine. It says until my next hero phase, but we'll just play it on my turn. How about that? And my opponent was like, yes, there's no way that that's true. And it was, though. Like, that's what it was, But, yeah, like, it makes you sound like a liar or whatever. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. So, hopefully, yeah.
I think that's the one thing that's kind of, like, poison to me from the perspective of playing in teams tournaments. Because in the teams tournaments, like, I don't care if you don't understand this rule. I need to squeeze every point out of this game I possibly can.
Right.
And like completely shaking off that mentality for a singles tournament can sometimes be tough, especially if the game is like even relatively close, or if it's a really large tournament and battle points actually do matter.
Right.
It's like, when do you make the determination just to be like, you know what? We're just not going to do that. That's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. We're good. Because the issue is, like, most of the time when I encounter situations like this, it's in a competitive environment, like a tournament, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it sucks.
No one wants to be the win at all cost guy too, but you are there to ostensibly see who's the best here on this day.
Yeah.
And so it is the person's prerogative. It's the opponent's prerogative to be able to understand the rules. But the issue right now with this game is that you can't just look up. There is no app anymore where you can just look up your opponent's war scroll. That's behind the paywall of buying the book. So when you're going to a tournament, you could be like, well, my rule says this. What's going on? Are we not live anymore? It says we're still live. Are you still there? Can you hear me? What's going on? Carson? Oh. Hello?
Oh.
Did I lose you there?
Yeah. You froze, but I suspect it was my Discord that just like crapped out for a second.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I was freaking out.
What I saw from my perspective was the issue is that, and I was like, what is it, Rob?
And I was like, am I not making any sense? And then I started to panic. I was like, it says I'm still live, but yeah. Basically, I was saying that like the problem is that like in the app now, you can't look up your opponent's war scroll. So like, you don't know if they're lying or not until you kind of get over there. And and you've never been able to like look up their army rules, but
yeah.
And
the issue is like, if you tell your opponent to like, oh, just look up my rules on like Sigdex or something like that, or Wahapedia, then from your opponent's perspective, they're like, this is just some random third-party thing. Like, it could be wrong.
That's true. Yeah, especially when you're new to the game and you don't really know all these ins and outs.
Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah.
And like it or not, a game of Warhammer is it's intimate, right? And it's there's a lot of like big emotions. It is. Yeah. Like you are like constructing a reality with someone for 3 straight hours.
Yeah.
Where you're basically cooperating to find out what the outcome of the game is going to be.
Yeah.
And it's tough. If something unexpected happens, it kind of shatters that reality.
It's true.
And rebuilding it is not an easy thing.
It's funny because like in a video game, if something is an exploit, that's in the prerogative of the player to use that exploit in whatever way they want to, because you're playing an online game, and it's in the prerogative of the developer, I would argue, to make it so that people can't exploit the game and essentially cheat within the rules of the game. Whereas we're two humans and we have to agree that things are the way that they are. It's not, you know what I mean? So I do still think that it's the prerogative of the game designer to make it as, what's the word? Smooth as possible, essentially, so that like it's harder to argue, you know what I mean, over these things.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we're two human beings that have to use our, our brains and our communications to essentially agree on something,
Yeah. I think it's like even in video games though, when there's exploits, I think Gabe Newell has like one of my favorite quotes about video games, which is everything that you do in a game demands feedback. And if a game doesn't respond to my actions with feedback, then I suffer a narcissistic injury as a
Interesting.
result of that. Like if I shoot at a wall and it doesn't like have like a decal pop up or like there's like a bullet hole or something,
Yeah.
my brain's like, that's not how that's supposed to be. And the exact same thing happens in a war game. When you're
Interesting.
proceeding with how you're playing the game and then your opponent pulls out some obscure rule that just completely like destroys you.
Yeah.
That's the narcissistic injury that you have, right? You're just like,
Interesting.
my reality is broken because I didn't know that existed.
Right.
And anytime that happens, it's just like a horrible moment.
So
Because
is that
instead
what's
of it,
happening to me when like people would stand in front of a wall, clearly not in cover, and I can't shoot them, and I'm just like,
yeah.
screw this, they're right there in front of me. I should be able to shoot them.
Yeah, exactly. Is your the reality that your brain came up with is broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for it might be the best case for like balance reasons or something like that.
Yeah.
But for thematic reasons, which is why, let's be honest, the vast majority of people play this game,
Right.
it kind of destroys like their willpower to like continue, I guess.
That's what I
If they're
felt
like,
like.
haha, I've got my gun line and
Yeah.
oh, I guess I can't shoot you. That sucks.
Yeah.
Catacross standing within an inch of this thing.
Yeah.
It's completely invisible.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. In front of a wall, for God's sake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it was an open area. It was the objective, and there's nothing there. An invisible circle. I'm standing within an invisible circle. You can't shoot me. You can't see me. But I can. You're right there. I can point at you from the perspective. You're 3 inches in front of me, and I can't shoot you. Just like, what the hell, man? Yeah. Okay. That kind of, wow. That's almost cathartic to hear about now, like after the fact. Like I've been suffering mentally from a few different things that have been going on in the game for the past like year, you know? And now it's like, it's almost like, it's like, what is it? It's like, cause like you feel like you're crazy. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh no, you just have, you're not, you're not hallucinating. You have an issue with your vision. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's so hard to explain. This is very cathartic to hear about though. What did you call it?
a narcissistic injury.
A narcissistic injury.
Yeah.
It almost sounds
Basically,
like I'm the bad guy here though. I'm being a narcissist.
I don't mean it in that way as in like
No.
you are a narcissist.
No,
but
for
it's
sure.
like it's a your brain is assuming that something is the way it is, and when it's proven to not be that way, you get angry.
Right.
It hurts
Yeah,
you.
It does.
Like,
it did hurt me
yeah.
though. It did hurt me. And more importantly, it made me like less interested to play. You know what I mean? Or like when is this a narcissistic injury when like in 3rd edition you had like these dumb clamshell formations of direwolves running up the battle? Is that kind of
Yeah,
like
I think so. I think the first time a new player experiences that, they're like, I hate this game.
I hate this. Yeah. That
Yeah.
was how I felt, you know?
Yeah, which is why like psychic damage, exactly, Trundle.
That's probably the better way of putting it, huh?
Yeah, I was just the only reason I said that specifically is because it was the Gabe Newell quote, like verbatim. Maybe there's a better term for it, but it's like that. That's the reason why my favorite games is like a specific type of Warhammer player, and I find they occur at like the very top most often. Like the very top
Interesting.
competitive people most often. You have people like Matt Beasley, Fabian Barbus, like Joran from Team France this year. Like just these people that they're willing to participate in this reality with you and you both know all of the rules,
Right.
and you're just finding out what the outcome is. Like there's no, oh my God, I didn't realize that this was the case, because they know everything and you
Right.
know everything, and it's
Right.
fine. And that's kind of what it's like at Worlds. It's like there's no more, geez, this thing is so powerful. It's this. It's like I know it's powerful and I know what it does,
And
and
that's
I'm just
why I
gonna
brought
deal
it.
with it.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's not even that I brought it. It's like I got paired into it, and
Right.
I'm the
Oh, I
person that
see.
has to deal with it, and I
Yeah,
know
but
how
like,
it works.
but I meant
It's
like
fine.
that's why I brought like this thing is powerful. That's why I brought it. Like
Yeah.
that's the best decision I could make. No one's it's not like even about your ego at that point either. It's like it's like you're both going like that's that's the smartest choice you could have made. It's not
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
oh, that's not fair. There's none of that. It's just like, yeah, you're making the right choice here. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's I find the same thing is true in like other things, like Street Fighter, for example. You know what I mean? It's like why are you complaining about this character? You could just go and play that same character. No one
Yeah.
is suffering so badly that they can't afford the $30 of DLC, or whatever, or the $5 of DLC that you need to play a particular character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Huh.
But I have to realize that that's how I like that's what I like getting into the thick of. I like spending hours and hours learning all of the different rules and playing at like a top competitive level. And that's fundamentally unapproachable for like 95% of the people that play this game, because they're just like,
Way
I
more
just
than
want to
that.
have a beer
Way
and
more than
play
that. Yeah.
play with my new models that I painted, and that's totally valid.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly fine thing to want to do,
Yeah,
because it's just however you engage with this hobby is totally up to you.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, like I used to memorize all the rules. I'm talking AOS 1 and AOS 2, and get into the granular thing, try to learn everyone's army. But sometimes also your situation just kind of changes, like for me, and you know, taking care of people in my life and other things have to take priority, and I just literally don't have the time of day anymore. You know what I mean? And so, you know, and I've always kind of engaged with it in a certain way, you know, but yes, I totally agree with that. And that's kind of more how Ryan and I used to play, even like 40K. You know what I mean? Where it was just pure like that. But you know, I mean, I guess we all have pet units and stuff like that too in Age of Sigmar even. But yeah, no, I mean that's I totally agree with you. Yeah, I think it's kind of a beautiful thing where you can get to that like pure thing. But I think it's way the amount of people that are going to engage with this hobby is not 5% at that level. Like that is
No, oh, at that level, no,
yeah,
definitely not.
no, you're
But
talking like a small, tiny fraction.
probably even the amount of people that go to tournaments isn't 5% of this hobby.
No, it's definitely not. It's smaller than that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, not everyone that like I used to be, you know, because of my health, I couldn't go to tournaments, but that didn't mean I wasn't trying to play the game at a very high level previously. Not, you know, essentially since third edition, I haven't been able to do that. But, you know, like I was trying to do that, but like, I guess those people are pretty rare though. I mean, if you're trying to play the game at a really high level, you're probably going to tournaments. Probably.
You're probably trying to.
Yeah, I
like
think
it might.
so. I think my
I know.
situation's kind of unique.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's some people that like if they're truly hungry for really competitive games, and for whatever reason, like geographic reasons or health reasons or something like that, you can't go to tournaments. Tabletop Simulator is usually where they gravitate towards, and they'll play on like Release the Beast or NA Online Teams or
Right.
something like that, where
That's
they're
a good point.
yeah.
So like let's say we don't know how many, we have no idea, I guess, what the percentage of people that even play in tournaments is. And then most of the, but even like those people, like like you would know this way better than I would. Among the people that go to tournaments, what percentage of the people do you think are like you? or Fabian, etc., etc. Like, if you go to like a tournament, let's say there's like a tournament of like 30 people, because maybe they're different. I'm just asking. Like, if you go to a tournament with 30 people in it, you go to a tournament with 50 people in it, and you go to a tournament with 100 people in it, does that change the percentage of people that are hardcore parkour or not, do you think? That's a question.
Pure numbers, I don't think that. Like
It's
there's
just like a...
it's tough, like, because like any given region, we'll use North America as an
That's
example.
true. They're so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think you would struggle to find more than like 3 of those types of people in a given region.
Wow.
Of North America.
Wow.
So like using the North American regions, I'm going to use like every region but my own, I guess. But like California, you've got people like Leo Rautonen, Tom Guan are in California right now. In Texas, you have Gavin Greiger. In the Northeast, you've got like Dylan Terrio. Madigan used to be there. Owen Jackson. Northeast probably has quite a few of those types of players, actually. And then
I mean, they got a bigger population.
Yeah. Canada, like Ontario focused, you have people like Sabetti and Devin, like the Team Canada guys.
Right.
Quebec, you've got like Justin Lapointe and like Frederic, and like there's I don't know, like you can find, I think, like a handful of those types of people in any given region. So
Right.
you should expect to see like 1 or 2 of them at like a medium-sized GT.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that does answer my question, though.
Yeah. Like 1 in the thing, yeah, like of people that go to tournaments,
Right.
1 in 40 or 1 in 30 maybe.
1 in 30 or 40.
Yeah.
That seems pretty reasonable, you know?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, again, I guess like the handful of people that I talked about, like Beasley and Fabian, and they're on like at a level above that even, I think, where like they could theoretically go anywhere
Right.
and compete for a top spot and still play the game in that way. And that would be like, you might not see them at a tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's not like you go to every tournament either, right?
No, I don't go to every tournament, of course. Yeah. And like I happen to see Beasley and like Matthias at every tournament I go to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like,
that's true. Yeah.
So there's 3 of them. Wow. Like it's, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like really it's like such a rare thing that, yeah.
Wow. Very interesting, though. Thank you for humoring me. Okay. Trundle said, I like going to RTTs and getting completely smoked by new players that have been preparing like mad while I haven't played versus their army in 2 editions. Yeah, that sounds like something that would happen to me too, where it's just like, wait, what? It does what now?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I feel like that's kind of true too. Because like in any friend group, there's gonna be like a few armies that no one plays too. You know,
In a region that might be the case.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Who plays Cruel Boys? Who's a diehard Cruel Boy fan in the Pacific Northwest? It's like almost no one.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
for a long time we had almost no cities players, and like it's
and Zeech
entire
too
regions
was pretty rare. I mean, I know you have Matt Beasley, but like, I mean, like, but he's not even in the same country as us. We just, you know, he comes to a lot of local tournaments, but like, how do I play against Zeech? You know, I think John is getting into them.
yeah.
So that's great news for me. I like playing against every army too. So, but yeah, no, that's definitely something that would happen. With stepping into a GT, everyone has a right to play to win. Yeah, there is no try hard, just people trying to win. No, I've always said that about tournaments. Like back in first edition, there was this thing called Goutfire Scorch. It was a Skaven battalion that could pop up and just crap. Before I was playing, before I had like the right models and stuff like that, I think the average was like 46 mortal wounds or something like that. Just pop up, and it was a 1-drop, you know? It was back in the day when you're paying like an insane amount, but it would just lose. It was super skew. It sounds terrifying, but it would just lose to horde armies of any kind. If you went up against Daughters in AOS 1, I mean, by the time Daughters was out, it wasn't doing anything like that. I forget what it was, like low 30s. If you went like pure Goutfire Scorch, but you would just auto lose to like Daughters of Cain, for example. You would never beat them. But like, the only reason I even like had the right models essentially was because like I was playing it versus Eric, I played it versus Andy, and a bunch of people who wanted to prepare in case they ran into it in tournament, because turn one, like going against Sylvaneth or Stormcast, it was over. The game was over in 10 minutes every time. I would choose to go first. I would kill their whole army almost. You know what I mean? And then they had to kind of like figure it out. But everyone that asked to play against it, they all lost to it the first time, except for actually Veronica, who had Daughters of Cain and 5-up rerollable ward and a horde army. But my point though was that like everyone that asked me to play it versus them, they all lost the first time, but they all knew that this is a tournament. This is valid, and so I can't complain. All I can do is prepare. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think that is the right attitude. Skaven pop-up Immortal Wound spam in first. Yeah, not a fun time for my Storm. Yeah, Stormcast, it murdered like any Stormcast army, any Sylvaneth army, unless it was like mass Dryads, maybe? I don't know. You need a lot of screens for it. It was crazy. You could pop up within 3 inches of them, by the way. But each unit that popped up within 3 inches of an enemy unit took D6 mortals, so it wasn't worth it. But you could just pop up outside of 3 inches. It was wild. I don't blame you for taking this effective thing, but don't you want to play more than one turn of the game? Yeah, exactly. It was pretty obnoxious. I literally only played it upon request. I would sometimes bring like a small, because it was like this dual battalion thing, where it was a scryer battalion that you got to bring. And then you could bring 2 halves of the same Engine Coven. And I think they cost 100 points each or something. I think it was like 250 points of your army was just paying for the battalion. But yeah, kind of a whack time to be in the hobby. There was lots of weird stuff. Stormcast actually had what was it called? They had something that could pop up in combat as well. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Zeech had some crazy wacky stuff. So, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, is there? I mean, we definitely got on a bit of a tangent here. Don't let me forget to put this in the Discord. I'll put it in the channel section. Next week, we're going to do battle plans, God willing, that everything works out and that there is a stream. Anything I'm forgetting before we head on out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone, for watching.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.